first and foremost, you send out the children to pick the dandelions for you. And we have a lot of them. Do you see them? They're everywhere. Now I've made clover jelly, and I have made lavender jelly, but by far the dandelion is the best. It's just, you gotta have the manual labor. Well, hi you guys, welcome back to the Needy Homesteader channel, and today we are making dandelion jelly together, and I am gonna can it. Now this is where my disclaimer is gonna come in. So I have made this jelly for the past 11 years. It was one of the first jellies that I made when I first learned how to can. That was in 2014. I do have an old video on it. If I can find the clip, I will leave it in a link up above for you. But it was just a slide with photos because I was new to canning, and I was just sharing. But back in those days, everybody canned this. So I got this recipe from Simply Canning, and I'm a big fan of hers. I'll leave her link to her channel up above. Love what she shares. Use her website often, and that's where I got my recipe from. She got that recipe from Wyoming Extension, and she does believe it was also posted on the Alaskan extension as well. But they have since removed it because it was not USDA tested and approved. And because there could be an issue with maybe the acid amounts because it hasn't been tested, they removed it from the site. So she has a little disclaimer on her webpage. I will leave a link to that down below so you guys can go and check out her original recipe. But this is something that many of us have been canning for years. So I am going to put that disclaimer out there. This is not a tested and approved recipe by the USDA. However, it is a recipe that has been canned for decades now, and my family loves it. It's my son Jake's favorite jelly that I make. I have not made it since our tragedy, so I'm super excited to be able to make it again this year. It's something that's been on my wish list to do. You do have to make a tea for it, so I'm going to show you step by step how to make it. If you do not feel comfortable canning it, you can refrigerate it and do it that way. But it's good information, and you know, I took a poll over on Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube, and overwhelmingly all of you said please film it, please share it, please teach us how to make it. And so I'm not going to teach you because Simply Canning taught me, but I'm going to show you how I make it, and I hope you give it a try. It's a delicate jelly. Delicate, like it's soft. It's light. It's like sunshine in a jar. It is refreshing. It is delicious on a biscuit. In the summertime, when you just want something light and refreshing, sourdough bread, a sourdough English muffin. The English muffin bread, I have a recipe to that. I'll leave a link up above for that. Anything like that, you know, think warm summer day or warm summer morning with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and a biscuit or an English muffin with a little bit of dandelion jelly on it. It is the taste of summer. It is summer in a jar, and dandelions are so healthy for you. So we're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. I'm just gonna show you how I make it, and it is up to you. It is fully your discretion, free will. The Lord has given you the gift of free will, so you decide on your own whether or not you want to try making it or not, or whether or not you feel safe in canning it. I'm going to increase the lemon juice on it by a tablespoon. So instead of 2 tablespoons, I'm going to add 3. Just just to make sure that the acid is fine. I think it's fine anyways. I've never had a problem with this jelly, so yeah, so we're going to can it together. But first I'm going to show you how to make the tea. I showed you the kids outside. They're picking their hearts away. They're getting paid for it. So they're going to earn a little income. I promised them $10 a piece if they picked me 10 cups. So it's going to cost me $1 a cup for dandelions, but you know, it's well worth it. And then we're going to make the tea. We're going to let it steep, and then we're going to make some jelly with it. I'm excited. All right, let's do it. So the kids picked me a nice size bowl of dandelion heads. So what I'm going to do with this now is I like to wash mine. It doesn't say to do that, but I've always done it that way. And then I'm going to get a strainer as I go through this. Because I want to make sure it doesn't have a bunch of like grass and that kind of stuff in it. So all we're going to be using are the heads, okay? You want to kind of move fast though, because these were all fresh and beautiful when they were clipped, but they change very quickly. So you want to move kind of fast when it comes to dandelions. So I'm going to just lightly give these a nice little rinse through. I'm going to get a strainer, so hold on. So I got a strainer. So I'm just now going to take, and I just want to give these a nice rinse wash. If I need more, I'll send the kids out for a few more, but we want 4 cups of heads, okay? So now what I'm going to do as we're working here, let me get my scissors, okay? And I am going to cut all of the green off of here. In fact, I think I'm going to, instead of the strainer, I'm just going to go ahead and use my cup. I've got a 4-cup measuring cup. I'm going to lay that right there in my strainer. Like that. And I want to cut off all of the green, okay? So I cut right under the green, and I'm going to pick the green out because the green is bitter. So get as much of it out as you can. If 1 or 2 pieces remain, that's fine. But the green is definitely not delicious. And then that's it. Let's see. Can I get it focused? There we go, I hope. So that's what it should look like. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that right in my little bowl here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that on a finer mist here. Well, let me. And I'm going to just pick off the green and put it in my little bowl here. This is tedious. It's tedious work, but it will be worth it in the end, I promise. So we're just taking the end, clipping it, removing the green, and in the jar it goes. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to keep working because this is going to, it's kind of time consuming here. But okay, just to show you, you're going to get in a groove. We only want the flower, okay? Flower goes right in there. You'll find your groove. This is a labor of love. Just get you a kitchen stool. If you got a bad leg like me, pop off that stem. You're gonna have a little bit of, you can see that, a little bit of green with the leaves. That the little leaves around the flower isn't gonna matter. You don't want the stem part at all. You want to clip that right off so that all you see is the flower, okay? I just clip them right into my sink, and then I'll swipe them all up. Whatever might go down the drain, I got a garbage disposal for, so it's not a big deal. Not a big deal, but it is a labor of love, but I promise you it's going to be so worth it. This is like one of those delicacies. Look at that. Try to get as much of the little flour off of my fingers as I can. Two there. Pop that green stem right off, and you got it. Oh my goodness. All right, so the camera cut out. I'm hoping I recorded that. If not, I'm going to tell you what I did. 4 cups of flowers. I had in a 4-cup measuring cup. I poured it into my big Pyrex bowl. I added 4 cups of boiling water from my electric kettle. I'll leave a link to the bowl and to the kettle down below in case you are interested. And I just poured the boiling water over the petals. And then I just took a spoon and I just want to gently, because the one thing about making tea, or just like if you're a tea drinker, you know, you never want to squeeze your tea because it becomes bitter. So I just want to kind of submerge all the flowers, and then I'm just going to let this sit, and as it cools down I will put a lid on it. I'm not going to put a lid on it right now because it's boiling hot. I'll give it 5 minutes or so just to cool down, and then I'll put the cover on it. I will let it sit at room temperature. Right now it is 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'm going to just let it sit and come down to room temperature. Once it comes to room temperature, I'm going to stick it in my fridge until tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow morning we will strain this, and we will have this beautiful, it'll be kind of yellowish green tea, and that's what we will turn into jelly. So with the magic of YouTube videos, I'll see you guys in just 1 second, but really I'll see you tomorrow morning, and we're gonna make some jelly out of this and can it up. Well, how's it going, you guys? It is the next day, and this is our tea. So it has steeped overnight. I put it in the fridge last night, and now what we're gonna do is we are going to strain it. And what we need 3 cups of tea in order to do this recipe. So what I'm going to do, and let me grab a towel just in case. I try to keep it as clean as possible. I'm going to use my fat separator because why not? It holds 4 cups. So it will be plenty. I can, and of course the fat separator, I'll leave a link to the one that I have down below, already has a strainer built in. I'm going to be putting, this is dampened cheesecloth on top. I'll leave a link for the cheesecloth that I use as well. And so that will really grab all of these flowers. I'm going to try not to pick up the flowers though. I'm going to try my best to just get the tea, almost like when I do bone stock. The less I disturb everything, the easier and the better the results. Like I said, when you start squeezing this, it can be bitter. Now, I have to put a disclaimer out here. Do not use dandelions from a yard that uses weed spray or any kind of spray, any kind of killer, any kind of pesticide. I think that's common sense, but I have to say it anyway, just in case. We do not spray here. It's never been sprayed. I honestly don't know anybody who uses Roundup anymore or anything like Roundup. But again, I live in the country, I don't live in the city, so maybe it's different, you know, where you are. But here, these dandelions are wild and free. Now we'll see how much tea I get from this, because I think we're just about at 3 cups. Let me check here. So I think a lot of times when you're doing a project like this, like straining it, when it says you need a jelly bag or, you know, a certain strainer. Nope, hold on. I want to use this side here. Yeah, I'm almost at 3.5 cups. So I'm just going to take out just a smidgen. Smidgen more. I want to make sure I am at 3 cups, and I am. Okay, so, sorry. Sometimes this can seem very overwhelming. At least it used to be to me. When I was a new canner, I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I strain it? That seems so hard. It seems so, am I going to do it right? It's as easy as this. You can use, you know, put to work the tools that you already invested in. I love this thing because I use it for so many different applications. Just like my electric water bath canner. We're going to be canning in that electric water bath canner. But I make all my stocks in it. I steam my corn in the cob in it. When I make a big batch of potato salad, I boil my potatoes in it. I mean, I use it for everything. Could I use my steam canner? Yes, but I'm still carrying it from the stove to there, and I've got injured hands. That makes it so easy for me because it's got the spigot and I can drain it right there at the sink. I can fill it at the sink. I can drain it at the sink. I can wash it up at the sink, and I'm not walking around my kitchen with it. It's, you know, it's so easy. So is it expensive? It's a bit pricey. It's about $200. However, one of the best investments I've made. So, you know, use your tools. Use the tools that you have and let them serve you. So this served us today. This is my sourdough bowl, and it served us too. So, all right, we have this tea. Now I'm going to take you over to the stove, and we're gonna make some dandelion jelly. I'm so excited. Over medium heat, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna add our tea to it. Now, it's kind of an ugly color right now, but it'll lighten up. You can put yellow food coloring, and I think for like a lot of photographs that you'll see online might have some yellow food coloring to make it this bright, beautiful yellow. I don't use that. I just keep it simple. But if you want to add food coloring, you would add that at the end before you can it up. We're not going to do that here. We're just gonna make the tea. So I have this on medium heat. And then let me go get the lemon juice. Now I know Simply Canning had made mention about this not being a tested and approved jelly. I would find it very difficult for the USDA to test and approve
all the jellies that are out there. So use your discernment. You can make this jelly, you can put it in jars, and you can keep it in your fridge if you want to bypass the canning stage. But she had made mention that, you know, it could have been, you know, they don't know if it has enough acid in it. Well, I'm here to tell you, never had an issue with this jelly, but I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution, and I'm going to add an extra tablespoon. So this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and of course we use bottled in jelly because fresh, we don't know the acidity level of fresh lemons. So we use canned whenever we're canning, or bottled, I should say, bottled juice anytime we're canning. So I'm going to add an extra tablespoon of lemon juice just to make sure it's acidy enough, although this has sugar in it and that's our preservative, so this is going to be fine. Like I said, I've been making this jelly since 2014. So many of you have made this jelly much longer than I have and have never had a problem with this recipe. So we're going to do that, and now I'm going to get the pectin. Okay, so this recipe calls for 1 box of powdered pectin. I buy my pectin in bulk from my Mennonite food store or from Amazon. I'll leave a link down below if you want to buy pectin in bulk. It's just cheaper and easier, quite frankly. So 1 box equals 6 tablespoons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 tablespoons to this little jar here. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I always add a smidgen for good luck. It's always worked for me as far as setting up. Now, I know some of you like using liquid pectin. I do not. I find the set on liquid pectin it's not my favorite. Sometimes it doesn't set at all. I have the best luck with this, plus this is way cheaper. So I do it this way. So I believe Simply Canning has a way to do it with liquid pectin. So I, of course, will leave her link down below and you can go check that out. And then what I do with my pectin is I always add, I'm just going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar to my pectin, because then when we add it to our tea, it won't clump. I spill just a little. Try to be neater than me. It's been a bad asthma day for me today. It's rainy, it's really humid. I'm trying not to turn on the air, but I'll have to see. Okay, so once all that is nice and mixed in, now I'm going to fly you. We're going to move this out of the way for when this comes to a boil. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this pectin right into my tea here. And then let me get my whisk. And get that all whisked in. And then I'm just going to bring this to a boil. And once it gets to a boil, we can go ahead and add the sugar in. We want this to come to a full rolling boil, and I think the problem that people have with pectin not setting is because it's not fully activated. The rolling boil is so important, and that is a boil that you cannot stir down. You see how I stirred that and it kind of went away? We want to be able to stir this and it's still boiling. So, at least in my experience, I can only talk about my experience, in making jams and jelly, the boil and really getting that pectin activated is so important. Now I went ahead and I added a couple of tablespoons into my freezer. Those are going to get cold, and we're going to test the set on this before we put it in a jar, just so that I can see that the pectin is setting. You can see this really is thickened up too. Just like in my bread making, I like to show all of it. Because that's how I learned. That's how I learned. You know, it's one thing to read the book. Yes, you have to read the book. You have to read the instructions. But seeing it helps so much. So, now that we have that in a nice rapid boil, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our sugar. Now remember, yes, this is a lot of sugar. But this is, you're not going to eat a whole jar of this. You're going to want to, but you're not going to. You're only going to be using like a teaspoon on a piece of toast or on a biscuit, or it's a little sweet treat. You know, it's like chocolate. You know, you shouldn't sit down and eat a whole bag of it, but you know, having a piece or two is fine. But we need the sugar to preserve. So, and it's what makes jelly jelly, right? So now we're going to stir this in, and we're going to bring this back up to a rapid boil. And I'm going to add a little pat of butter. This is a half of a tablespoon. And what that's going to do is that is going to take away all this foam. You can skim it, but you'll never skim it well enough. Even with the butter, you'll still have a little bit of foam, but it helps tremendously. I'm just going to put that in there. Many people ask what this tastes like. It tastes like sunshine in a jar. It's sweet, it's light, it's lemony, and it tastes like lemon honey. It's got a honey flavor to it, but it's lemony. It's not overpowering, but if you had to put sunshine in a jar, this is what sunshine would taste like, in my opinion. And of course, you know, there's a lot of health benefits to dandelion. So you can look into that and add it to your salads. I actually have like a weed that I can actually grow and add to my, one of you brought it up to me last year and I bought it. I still have the pack of seeds. I really need to try to grow it. So, okay. We're just going to sit here and we're going to just keep whisking and cooking away and until it comes to a rapid boil, and I'll bring you back when we get. Okay, now we are at a rapid boil, and you can see what it looks like now. I have set my timer for 2 minutes. It's 1 to 2 minutes. I have always had better luck hard boiling my jelly for 2 minutes than I have 1 minute. So just by nature now, I just do 2 minutes. And you don't want to let this go because you don't want this to end up spilling over your pot. That's why I like to use a nice deep pot. I love this 7-quart chef's pot from Le Creuset because it's so big and open that's easy to film for you guys with this. And yet I still have the high sides. So you'll notice I make a lot of jam and jelly in this. So there's my little alarm for 1 last minute. Just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Oh, it smells so good. Now, after you do this, this would be the point when you shut it off the heat and you get ready to can it, that you would go ahead and add your yellow food coloring if you want it more yellow. I don't mind it looking like honey. I think it's beautiful in a jar. So I leave mine. I've never put, that I can remember, food coloring in it. I know I tried it once in blueberry pie filling and it was a pain. I did it once just to do it and never again. So, okay, so I'm going to shut this off the heat for now. You're going to see that's still going to boil. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to grab a spoon out of my freezer and gonna dunk that. I can tell though that it's setting up because I can see it on my whisk. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that dripping off the spoon like that? See that? That's a set. That's a set. See how it's a string right there dangling? Let's taste it. Oh, it is perfect. It's perfect. Okay. All right, I'm gonna back you guys up. And we're gonna get this canned. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see everything. You're gonna hear the canner right next to you because you're next to the canner. Now, I've got little smidgen jars. Hold on one second because I did forget my canning funnel. Give that a quick wash up. I like to make sure everything's washed and cleaned. I wash my lids, I wash my rings. Just like to make sure everything is as clean as possible when I can. All right, so I have these little, I call them smidgen jars. They're little 4-ouncers. And I know, let's see if I have a jar or glass that can hold my funnel for me. I know my aunt was asking questions about this, so I want to gift her a little jar, just in case she doesn't like it, you know. She's not stuck with like a whole thing of it. I'm going to try to move this down. Let me see if I can move that down. And I'll move that down there. Can you guys see that now? Hopefully a little better. Okay. Beautiful. And I'm gonna try to see how I can get another 3 cups out of this. And do a second batch. So I'm gonna fill this to 1/4 inch headspace. Okay, let me get a second. I'm gonna lay this here too. Oh, actually, no. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and debubble that. Even though it's jam, I mean, even though it's jelly, I still like to debubble it. Vinegar. Okay. And today I'm using Superb lids. I'm so excited to try these. Really excited. I only use made in the USA, not USA companies, because there's a difference between a USA company and made in the USA. So I use ball jars or ball lids and I've never had a problem, but Superb is made in the USA, and so I'm excited to give them a try. My Mennonite store does sell them in bulk sleeve, so I know where to get them. I end up loving them. All right. inch headspace. A little stir. Okay. Wipe. And the lid in a ring. Now I was told you gotta make sure that these are on a little bit more, not super tight, but a little bit more than fingertip tight. Look at how pretty. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, in the canner it goes. What do I have? I've got 5 more little smidgen jars here. I like these jars for condiments too. They're really good for dips and like sour cream. Trying to think what else I use them for. Coleslaw, potato salad, mac salad. I like baked beans in these. They serve on the plate really nice. So lots of uses for those little midgies. It's like a little smidgen. But this will be a great little tester jar for anyone who in my family wants to try it but doesn't know if they'll like it. I guarantee you they're gonna love it because it's just so delicious. All right, I'm gonna use a different. I like to change out my paper towel often, especially with jelly because it's sticky. So lid, ring, okay, little mini jar number 2, in it goes. So many of you just like to watch the tanning process, so but you like the noise of my house instead of, I always feel bad if my house is loud. It's a busy house. Right now the kids are doing schoolwork. Eric goes to work pretty soon. And the house right now is quiet. Got a ring, got a lid. So hot. All right, little jar going in. And I've got one more little guy here that we will use. This size is perfect if you live alone or if it's just you and say your husband or you and your wife, because I know I have some canning kings that also watch me. So they do sell these at Walmart. That's where I bought mine. I will try to see if there's a link for them on Amazon, because I know not everybody likes to go to Walmart. I try to be as helpful and as mindful as I can. So if there's ever anything you need, just let me know, because sometimes I don't think. Alright, let's get this on. There we go. Okay. in the jar it goes, or in the canner it goes. All right, and now I've got this cute little jar here. This is a vintage ball jar. These I do not give out because nobody returns my jars. So these are for the house only. They're like little square ball jars. Up to a 1/4 inch headspace. Give it a debubbling stir. Vinegar. Okay. Lid. Ring. There's so many more jam and jelly videos that I want to do with you guys. My dad brought me down black berries. There it is. Look at how cute that jar is. Isn't it pretty? Oh. So I have blackberries down in my freezer. So that'll be a future video. All right. Now if I can't fill a whole jar, I'll just leave it unprocessed and it'll just go right in my fridge. So just like you, if you guys don't can, or if you are a stickler and you really only feel comfortable canning tested and approved recipes, you can put this right in the, I would jar it up in little jars still, because you can still gift them. You just let people know that it's got to go in the fridge. And some of you don't can. So just because you don't can doesn't mean you can't make jelly and jam. You can still make it. You just would bypass this canning part. But if you watch my channel, girl, let me get you going on canning. I have so many canning videos. I have a canning workshop for beginners. I'm not here to teach you, but I'm here to put visual with what you learn in books. Okay? Look at how pretty. Alright. I'm going to try to fill one more jar here. I've got these little ball fruit, little mason jars with the fruit on it. Super cute. I don't know if I'll have enough for a whole jar to process. We're gonna try. I'll scrape. Try to get every bit I can out. I think I'm gonna fall just a little short. I think. Oh, I'm at like the 1 inch headspace. Oh, that's okay. We were going to open up a jar anyway. And if that's the case, I'll just put a plastic lid on it instead of a canning lid. I won't waste a canning lid. Let's see. Can I get it? Can I get it? Oh, I think I'm at the 1/2 inch head mark. I have to get a silicone scoop, because I think I can get it if I can just get every little ounce off of that. Oh yeah, I can get it. I can get it to a 1/4 inch. Yes, ma'am. Gosh, I love canning. Oh, I love. I'm gonna stir that in because that was kind of set already. I love the challenge. I love the challenge of myself to have perfect headspace. I love to have my jars just be beautiful. I just want them beautiful. I want them to look like eye candy. Oh, it is. I wish here, I'm gonna strip it down. Look at her. Oh, look at her. Right at the 1/4 inch. You see it? Oh, thank you, Lord. That was all you. That was not me. God is good. All right. Last one. Get a ring on it. Okay. All right. In the canner it goes. All right, how many do I have total? 3 half pints, 5 smidgens for 8 jars. I'm gonna spin you around here. And you can see inside my canner. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rest of my vinegar. I'm just gonna pour it in there, okay? That is definitely 1 inch over my tops, even though it's kind of hard to see. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this to canning, put the lid on. When this starts to come to a rapid boil, we will set the timer for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I will shut off my canner, let it take the lid off, let it sit and rest for 5 minutes, and then I will remove them from the canner. And like I said, I'll leave the link. They don't sell this one anymore. I've got the old school one here. The new one is digital. They do still have this one available, but it's stupid expensive. But I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link to both if I can find them. All of my canning stuff is gonna go in the sink, so I can wash it all up while I wait. And when we take these out of the canner, I will bring you back and I will show you what dandelion jelly looks like. All right, okay. As I fill up my sink, that's what you're gonna hear. I'm gonna have Mason is willing to test this. Now, I have not made this since before our accident. So you haven't had this since you were little.
Not since a while.
Right. All right, so go ahead and taste it. Does it taste like sunshine in a jar? What does it taste like to you?
I can't really describe it. But it's good.
It's lemony? Does it taste like honey to you? A lot of people say it tastes like honey. Tastes like lemon honey?
Not so much lemon, but it definitely has a honey.
A honey taste?
Honey taste, yeah.
It's good. It'll be good on biscuits?
Very good.
English muffins?
Very.
Or English muffin bread, sourdough, right?
Yeah, but it's very good.
It's very good?
Very nice.
You like it? All right. Okay, well, I'm going to try to make a second batch, and we'll see if I can squeeze some tea out.
Hopefully you can.
Right.
It is good.
Okay. Thanks, Mason. Okay, just so I can show anyone who's new to canning, this is a rapid hard boil. So this is what you want to see when you're water bath canning. This is what's so great about the electric water bath canner, is that you can see it. So you know exactly when to start timing. It's more difficult when you're using like a basic, what do they call it, like a porcelain enamel canner. Makes it really easy when you can see. So, and again, my spout is right over the sink, so it's easy for me to drain all the water out when I'm done, and I'm not lifting or carrying anything to the stove at any time, and my hands really appreciate that. So, all right, so we're just gonna wait. I think we've got 8 minutes left on the timer, and I'll bring you back when I bring these out. Okay. I'll pull these out of the canner. Now Simply Canning said that if you have to add like a little bit of water to your tea, a little bit, you can do that. And I was a half a cup short on my tea in order to like squeeze out a second batch. So I went ahead and I added a half a cup of water to my tea, and I have enough where I can run a second batch of this, and I'm gonna do it because the dandelions are gonna be gone, and I want to make sure I have some of this on my shelf. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, this makes me so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. My heart is so full right now. Okay. 2 more smidgens. And I'm gonna I turned on the air. I'm gonna turn on the dehumidifier. That should help my asthma a bit, but everything, you know, the pollen is, everything here in northern Michigan is, you know, blooming. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. See, I just don't think you need food coloring. It's so beautiful as is. It does look like liquid honey, doesn't it? I hope this video blesses you. Like I said, if you don't feel comfortable canning it, don't can it. But at least make it. Give it, you know, as gifts. Keep some in your fridge. Oh, those superb jars or lids, man, you can't hear them pop. You guys told me the pop is loud and it's so satisfying. Oh my goodness. Oh, my heart is so full, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me while I made this and canned it up. I appreciate each and every one of you, and share this video if you know somebody who would make this. And yeah, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Probably with another canning video, because I got some canning I want to do. Anyway. Alright, God bless. Oh, listen to the pops. Ah, so good. Okay, here we go. 14 jars total, 2 batches. Little, you know, it sounds bigger because I used the little smidgens. But look how pretty. Oh, so pretty. Right? Oh, this was so successful. I'm so full of joy, and we are going to enjoy these. So I hope you give it a try, you guys. All right, I'm going to get this edited and uploaded, and if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try my very best to answer them for you. Links are all down below, and